An entire world is ready for you to start your career teaching the path to wellness.
Mastering the science of mindfulness.
And the art of coaching.
To help clients achieve mental, emotional, and physical betterment of life.
Through movement,
nutrition,
recovery, and regeneration.
Because impacting one person impacts a family.
Impacting a family impacts a community.
And impacting a community impacts the world.
Become an NASM certified wellness coach.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Strong Mind, Strong Body podcast. I'm your host, Angie Miller, and today we are going to talk about the Sunday Scaries. Could be that they're the Monday or the Tuesday Scaries, but we'll talk about that. Bottom line is, as the work week winds down or the weekend winds down and the work week approaches, some of us get that feeling of nervousness or anxiety. And I'm just curious, do you get the Sunday Scaries? Do you get that feeling of nervousness or dread about the week ahead? Because if you do, you are not alone. That anticipatory anxiety, if you will, starts to creep in, and it can hijack the fun and the freedom from your weekend as your weekend is starting to wind down. So the thing is, though, the Sunday Scaries, those don't mean that you don't like your job or that you're not living your joy. I love my job. I love the work that I do, but I still get the Sunday Scaries once in a while. When that laundry list of to-dos starts creeping into my consciousness, or I start thinking about everything I did or didn't accomplish last week or over the weekend, and then I start anticipating that week ahead. So the first time that I ever heard it called the Sunday Scaries was, because I didn't know that it had a name, was a couple of years ago. My daughter was fresh out of college and she was into her first job. And she mentioned to me that she always gets the Sunday Scaries, that she gets this anxious feeling on Sunday nights. And she explained that she starts thinking about the week ahead, and then it sort of sucks the joy out of her Sunday. So I did what I always do when I've never heard about something. I deep dive into the research. And even though the Sunday Scaries are not a clinical term and there's nothing diagnosable about getting the Sunday Scaries, there is a lot of information out there that I think makes a lot of sense. So again, I'm Angie Miller, and I am here to talk with you, our NASM and AFA family, and anyone else joining us about the Sunday Scaries, that nervousness that creeps in on Sunday nights. So I think Sunday Scaries are kind of a combination of what I like to call future tripping, which is when we worry about the future or what we think what is going to lie ahead in the future. And then it's kind of mixed with some guilt or regret about how we did or didn't spend the previous week or the weekend. Like, oh, I ended up sleeping my weekend away and I didn't get XYZ done. Or I thought I was going to clean my bedroom or my bathroom or run a bunch of errands and get things checked off my list. But instead, I scrolled social media. I binged watched a bunch of shows. And then maybe you start to feel kind of irritable or anxious because maybe you start shooting yourself and blaming yourself. And there goes the rest of your Sunday. And all that peaceful feeling that you wanted on Sunday becomes just a big old pile of stress. Well, who has time for that? I mean, come on. Weekends are super valuable. So I'm here to take away your scary so that you can make your time off matter. So I'm going to give you some things you can do. I'm going to give you some thoughts that you can consider to abolish the Sunday blues, otherwise known as the Scaries, and you can start your week feeling fresh, free from worry. But before we begin, I kind of have a side note for you to consider. Sunday scaries aren't strictly reserved for Sundays. Sundays don't get, they don't get to own the scaries. They could pop up any day of the week, kind of depending on what your schedule is like, or maybe you have a rotating schedule, or you only see clients on certain days of the week. So maybe you get that anticipatory anxiety on Monday night or another night. Whatever it is, it's all the same tools and techniques. So I've got you covered. So first and foremost, when the Sunday scaries or the Monday scaries start to creep in, remember that it's actually really, really common. So according to a survey that LinkedIn did, they found that 80% of professionals experience Sunday scaries. 80%. And it's no wonder it was my daughter who introduced me to this concept, because it turns out that 90% of millennials and Gen Zers reported that they experience it too. So that's an even higher percentage. So in that survey, 60% of professionals said that worrying about their weekend was what caused the scaries, or their workload. Sorry, worried about their workload is what caused the scaries. You're like, their weekend? What? 44% that said that them trying to balance personal and professional responsibilities and all those to-dos were what caused it. And 39% said that thinking about the tasks that they didn't accomplish the week before is what caused it. So while I'm not a big one who says, oh, misery loves company, I do think it helps to know that you're not alone in your experiences. And there are a whole lot of professionals who can relate to you if, in fact, you get the Sunday scaries. So number two, my second suggestion is consider adjusting your schedule. And I'm going to tell you why. So if Sundays start to really feel overwhelming and it takes away your joy, that last day of peace and relaxation, consider rearranging your schedule. So instead of Saturdays being that wild and free day, maybe make a list on Friday afternoon. What are the top 3 things that I really want to accomplish over the weekend? Any more than that, and you're probably going to make your weekends feel like work days, and that's no fun. So then decide, when will I accomplish those 3 big things that I want to accomplish this weekend? And try not to save them all for Sunday. In fact, the goal is to do the opposite, kind of spread the wealth a little bit. Don't do all the heavy lifting on Sunday. So maybe Friday night, you run a few errands right after work when you still got a little bit of energy before you come home. Maybe Saturday, you clean one room in your home. And maybe Sunday, you spend an hour prepping for the week, so Monday actually feels more doable. The idea is that, schedules, we stick to them, right? We know what to expect. We know what we need to accomplish, and we tend to stick to them, and we're more likely to get things done. And it also, again, kind of helps save you from doing all the heavy lifting on Sunday. So here's another note. Here's number 2. My second tip is create a Sunday routine. So just like a schedule helps us accomplish things, routines are really, really important. Routines create consistency. And we as human beings, we love consistency. We love knowing what to expect, when to expect it. And we love routines because they're predictable. And predictability makes us feel safe. And predictability drives down anxiety and stress. Maybe on Sundays, you create this routine and you make a special meal. Maybe you call a friend. Maybe you journal. You watch your favorite TV show. Just make sure you make that schedule. And part of that schedule is that you have a consistent Sunday routine. So the next one is consider working on a project. So maybe part of your routine is that you save time to work on a project that you really, really enjoy. So Sundays, I think, are such a great day to deep dive into your creative abilities, something that really, really gives you purpose and brings you joy. Maybe you paint, maybe you like to listen to music, maybe you like to draw. I love to work on furniture. I love to restore old furniture. It really kind of drives down my nervous system, puts me in a more relaxed state. I listen to books on Audible when I'm doing it. It's a great escape. And anything that gives you purpose and taps into your creativity also gives you a sense of accomplishment. So maybe your project or your purpose is that you're going to volunteer. Maybe you like to garden. I know that's become a really big thing during the pandemic. Whatever it is, get lost in something that brings you joy and it taps into your creative side. And it reminds you that you're more than a sister or a brother or a husband or a wife or a partner or a trainer. You're more than all those roles that you play. You're a person who needs time for self-discovery and exploration. And remember also that, again, projects give you purpose. They're like these side hustles, except you don't get paid, but your payment is that sense of accomplishment. They make you kind of more interesting and you have more things to talk about with other people. So again, I'm Angie Miller. This is Strong Mind, Strong Body. And I'm talking about the Sunday scaries and how you can stave those off, how you can lessen your stress and anxiety on Sunday nights and prepare for your week ahead with less anxiety. So number 5 is pamper yourself, right? And practice self-compassion. So it's one thing to pamper yourself. It's another thing to mentally remember that we need to practice self-compassion. So maybe part of your routine is just to spend Sunday night pampering yourself. Light a candle, put on a face mask, take a bubble bath, journal, meditate, practice whatever form of self-care makes you feel calm and relaxed. And make sure that you shut down your devices, you tune out the world, and you just tune into your needs. And remember that pampering yourself also involves self-compassion. You know, that compassion that you give to your mom, your friends, your partner, your coworkers, you give it so freely and it doesn't cost anything. How about you give it to yourself? Maybe part of the self-compassion is maybe you had these big goals for the weekend and maybe you didn't accomplish them. Maybe you ignored those 3 things that I suggested that you write down, but you know what? You're human. And you're doing the best you can. And maybe instead of cleaning or making calls or doing chores, maybe you just really, really needed that sleep. Maybe you scrolled social media or you stayed in the comfort of your space because you just wanted to be at home with your thoughts. So instead of shoulding or shaming yourself and destroying the rest of your night, just remind yourself of what you did do instead of what you didn't do. Maybe sleep was the one thing that was really, really missing in your schedule. Maybe social media made you feel like you were connected to the outside world and you've been feeling like you lost touch. And maybe peace and quiet before this hectic work week was like solace to your soul. So number 6, try to use Sunday night in self-reflection. So I got this one from LinkedIn. LinkedIn said that one thing you could ask yourself when you're doing that self-reflection is, what did you accomplish this past week that made you really, really proud of yourself? Or maybe it's this past month or this past year. And they also suggest this question: where do you want this journey to take you? So where do you want this job, this career, this opportunity to take you? And then the last one is, what are you in this for? Know your values and your mission and make sure that you're aligned with them. So the goal here is that you're looking at your life through a broader lens. You know, that wide lens on your camera instead of the narrow lens that's like, oh my gosh, I didn't get anything done. The goal is that you're looking at your life through this broader lens and it's more compassionate. The lens that your partner or your mom sees you through. People who witness with pride all of your accomplishments and they can just list them off without missing a beat. So this helps you see the bigger picture and gives you greater perspective. So you stop getting lost in the small stuff and stop focusing on what you're not getting done. And you take some time to kind of recognize what you are getting done. So my last one is, before you go to sleep, set an intention for the week. So again, I'm Angie Miller. This is Strong Mind, Strong Body, and I'm talking about how to stave off the Sunday scaries. So my last suggestion for you is, before you go to sleep at night, set an intention for the week. something simple that's within your control. So maybe you decide this week, every morning when I wake up, for my first 5 minutes, I'm just going to go device free and I'm going to do a short meditation, or I'm going to take a walk outside and enjoy the warm weather. Or maybe you say, this week, I'm going to focus on getting better at going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Just make sure it's something that you're going to commit to so that you get to reap the rewards of accomplishment. So I'm going to go back through those again. So if you want to stave off the Sunday scaries, first and foremost, remind yourself you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there. According to LinkedIn, 80% of working professionals get them. Number 2, consider adjusting your schedule. Number 3, create a Sunday routine. Number 4, work on a project. Number 5, pamper yourself and practice self-compassion. Number 6, use Sundays to reflect on what your previous week looked like, where you are, what you've accomplished. And number 7, set an intention for the week. So let's say that you do those things, you've tuned in with me during this podcast, and you notice that you're still feeling a lot of Sunday dread. Maybe it's a signal that something in your life needs adjusting. Maybe you need to take a deeper look at your relationship or your job, brainstorm what it could be, and maybe make a plan to do something about it. And if you need to, if it feels too heavy, talk to a therapist, get to the core issue. Maybe it's a sign of something deeper going on in your life. But the bottom line is, if you feel the Sunday scaries, you're not alone, and there are definitely things you can do. Part of it is that I think we're just a product of this super fast-paced competitive world. But instead of letting those scaries hijack your Sunday night, get ahead of it. Consider these tips, and I guarantee you're going to be more prepared to face your week. And my last suggestion is, when you're going back over that schedule, also kind of take a look at your schedule ahead. So try not to, if you've got autonomy in your scheduling, try not to consider having a bunch of meetings on Monday or having big projects due right at the front end of the week. Give yourself time to step into the week slowly. Give yourself Monday to kind of prep for the rest of the week and catch up on things. So again, I'm Angie Miller. I'm so glad you joined me for this Strong Mind, Strong Body podcast about the Sunday scaries. I love to hear from you. I really appreciate you sharing your insights, and I can't wait to see you next week.